What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Day, and welcome to the Man United Talks Bournemouth v Manchester United review. It is done. It has happened. As you see to my right side, your left side of the screen, Manchester United beat Bournemouth 2-0 in a convincing performance at Bournemouth. It wasn't easy. Nothing's easy in the Premier League, but it was convincing as far as I am concerned. As far as the stats go, 56 possession in our favor. We had the same amount of shots, but as with over the last few games in the Premier League, apart from West Brom, we were more clinical than the opposition. We didn't pass a lot more than they did. That's for sure, as the stats say. 100 more passes, whatever. And corners were more or less the same as I expected in this game. A lot of crossing, especially with the lineup that went out today, which we'll get to in a second. But that's really what went down, and a few offsides for us because we have more pace in the team, so we were trying a little bit more, putting the ball in behind, which you love to see, especially with the likes of Rashford, Martial, and just people with pace in the lineup. So, let's get through how this game went. The first few minutes, the first 20 minutes, I would say, were kind of just I know I usually say like the first 10 minutes, you just let teams, 10-15 minutes, you let teams kind of just get into their groove. But we took a bit of time to get into our groove, especially Pogba, because he is the engine of the midfield. To get him up and running took a bit of time. And as you see, might as well just get it out the way. Pogba is my man of the match. But for the first half, my man of the match was definitely Herrera, because he just did what he had to do. He cleaned up, and he did, extremely well in doing the simple things right. And it's not that he dropped his level of performance in the second half. I think it was just as high as the first half, but Pogba just hit another level. He only got one assist, but he was very integral in the play that we had tonight, and it was good football for the most part, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, as far as the goals go, how was the first? Pogba again out on the right wing. I believe Charlie Daniels was on him. Either way, he was getting boxed out. Pogba turns back, gives it to Lingard, who gives it into Herrera, and then Pogba makes a step back, which drags the defense up, which in turn gives Jesse Lingard the space to run in behind, and then obviously that's a wide open pass, and I think Begovic may have been able to do better, but Lingard puts it across the 6-yard box, and who else other than Smaldini just doing what he does. That's his third goal in 3 away games, which is amazing. I don't know if this is the highest scoring tally he's had in a season, but I think it definitely rivals whatever he's done before. But that's pretty interesting. I believe it was also his 150th Premier League appearance today, which is a bit surprising. I thought he may have had more by now, but it is what it is. And that was really how the first half went, more or less. We kept going, and one thing I liked about today was that the play was spread evenly. Like I said in the preview, and I believe I may have said it in the last review, is the ball was often on the left side so much, but today it was right and left side. I think that definitely had a lot to do with the fact that we were playing 3 in midfield, so that we could switch the ball side to side. I feel like when it's 2 in midfield and Pogba's predominantly on the left side, we just keep the ball on his side of the pitch, and between Martial or Alexis Sanchez, whoever plays on that side, and that's usually how things go. I apologize for the off lighting. I can see it now. But, I'm waiting on some box lights. I'm going to get some box lights to get some even lighting, because this just looks ridiculous. Yeah. But that's how that went. That's how the first half went. And then we moved on to the second half. No changes for either side, apart from the fact that Ryan Fraser started playing on the right side, not the left. And really, it was more or less of what we saw in the first half. Just a bit more intense, obviously, because Bournemouth were trying to get back into the game. Thus, they gained more possession. I believe the first half ended probably like 65-35 possession. But Bournemouth came back into the second half, and they were up for it. And to be fair, they were unlucky maybe not to get. There was a penalty claim for Luke Shaw, but as Paul Scholes, I just heard him say, Luke Shaw just made a smart move in trying to in taking down Callum Wilson in a very sly way, because you want to get contact on the attacker, but you don't want to obviously make too much of a movement, but make enough contact. Sorry, I'm just watching BT simultaneously. You don't want to get too much contact on the attacker. You want to, just put him off though. You don't want him to have a easy shot. So I think Luke Shaw did well. I wouldn't have been mad if it was given as a penalty. I mean, obviously I would have been frustrated because we conceded a penalty, but I think you can't go against that decision if it was given. So yeah, and that's another case trying to be made for VAR, but I really just don't want it in the game, because I know they won't initially put commercials into the game, but I feel like it's just going to become more like the American game if we start introducing VAR, and then we're going to have commercials every 10 seconds because there's a bloody well stop to review games and stuff like that, and whatever, or review plays I should say. Yeah, but we go on later in the game. Romelu Lukaku enters. Excuse me. Romelu Lukaku enters towards the 70th minute, and we're playing on the counter, more or less what we did the whole game. But Pogba gets the ball in midfield, picks it up, and he starts driving, which is something he did a lot this game, which is what you love to see Pogba do. That's what he did so much at Juventus, was just drive with the ball. And he did it quite a few times this game. He drove with the ball, puts it through to Lukaku, first time finish, I believe. I could be wrong, but that was a good finish, kind of reminiscent of his first goal of the season, in the first game of the season against West Ham. Just a quick finish in the near post, and that was that. And then for the rest of the game, we really just, I wouldn't say it was domination, because Bournemouth 2-0 down, still were trying to get something out of this game, and that's why I have a lot of respect for them. I have a lot of respect for Eddie Howe and the way he deals with his team. And really, we needed that, especially going into Spurs, especially after West Brom, and just to secure our place in the top four, although I was almost 100% sure we were going to keep a place in the top four, to be honest. But, it'd be nice to finish second. And that was that. So I knew this preview was going to be a little shorter, so I am going to go through player ratings. And since I did not write down all the players' names, and I should remember them off the top of my head, I am just going to go to see the lineup. And while I'm on my way there, we should definitely talk about how beautiful that lineup was. To see Luke Shaw, to see Darmian, who by the way had a good game today. He's not an attacking fullback, and we know that. I don't think he put one cross in, but he's a solid defensive fullback. And for someone who I don't believe has played actually he played against Bristol a while ago, but for someone who hasn't played a lot of football, he did very well. And same for Luke Shaw. I enjoyed what I saw from both of them. I just don't like Luke Shaw. I was never scared once watching Luke Shaw. I know it was only West Brom, but I mean not West Brom, Bournemouth. But Luke Shaw, I always feel comfortable when he's defending, even when he fails or when he doesn't do well. You just be like, he's an actual left back. I think I'm a bit more comfortable with him than seeing a bloody 32-year-old winger playing the left back position. Regardless, let's go through the lineup. So, first one up, David De Gea. He didn't have much to do this game, especially because Bournemouth just kept taking long shots. But he dealt with what he had to deal with, so I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. As for the back line, Matteo Darmian, like I said, I thought he did well. And for someone who hasn't played, I think he did more than enough. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 as well. Luke Shaw, 6 as well. To be fair, this is going to get a bit dull. But Chris Smalling got the first goal. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think he was amazing. I think he did what he had to do. And he had to be fair, he did have a few blocks or / interceptions when the ball was crossed in. So I'll give him an 8 in fairness to him. Phil Jones, I thought, did well. Early in the game, Callum Wilson broke through in behind, and Phil Jones chased him down and didn't make it easy for him. So, and even he got in the last-ditch block as well. So yeah, I'll give Phil Jones a 7 to be fair to him. And then we move on to the midfield. Fellaini. Anyway, Fellaini didn't do bad in fairness to him. I would give him a 6. He didn't do terrible. It's just that I think his relationship is far gone with the United support and fans and whoever, so, but he did a good job. As for Herrera and Pogba, Pogba got an assist, and like I said, he was driving at the defense all game, and Herrera was just tidy as could be. I tweeted out during the game, he was almost Xabi Alonso-esque in the way he dealt with himself and the game. He moved the ball around with efficiency and class, and I enjoyed watching him. So I'm gonna give Herrera a 7 and Pogba a 7.5. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then the front three, which was Martial, Lingard, and Rashford. Now I just got annoyed simply because I don't have a problem with our wingers cutting inside, but Jesse Lingard or Mata, whoever plays on the right, just stays inside. And I did ask for Lingard on the right because I know he could do a job out there, and that's where he got his assist from. So I'm not mad at him. I would give him a 6. I don't think he had an outstanding game, and he did what he does best. You know, he cuts inside or just links up play well, and I enjoyed what he did tonight. So I'm gonna give him a 6. Martial, man, I was enjoying, especially his second half. I thought was very good. He, like Pogba, was running at defenders, doing what Martial does best, twisting up people. And it wasn't prime Martial because he hasn't played a lot of games, or recently anyway. And I definitely enjoyed it. So I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he did pretty good, and I will say he's still. I believe he has more goals than Rashford. And there was a stat I saw. I can't remember it. I'll quote it next time. But for all the people saying, you know, he's not having a good season and all this type of stuff, he has more goals than Rashford and a couple, you know, Lingard. And who else scores goals apart from Rum? Obviously, he doesn't have more goals than Rum. Regardless, he's having a very productive season. So it's just recently with Alexis Sanchez coming in, that's the problem. If we can figure that out next season, it's not an issue. And lastly, Marcus Rashford in the starting 11. Lastly, Marcus Rashford, enjoyed watching him all game. Didn't give up. In the first 10, 15 minutes, I think it was the first 10 minutes, he challenged, Nathan Ake, who came out of the back with the ball. Rashford went in with a tackle. I saw it coming, but it was so clean. He snatched the ball away and got back on the counter. Nothing came of it, but it was definitely nice to watch. So I'm going to give Rashford a 7. He was good all game, and I enjoyed watching him. And as for the substitutions, Matic, Lukaku, and Daley Blind was involved, and he was playing in the midfield. But, you know, that was just really to take the piss. There's nothing serious about that. But first substitution was Lukaku. He got a goal, and he did what, you know, he first thing he did when he came on was he went to Nathan Ake, because Ake, smaller of the two defenders, not by much, but, you know, and least experienced. So he went on Ake, and his first move, I remember watching him come on, his first move, he looked at Ander Herrera when he received the ball. He said, "Give it to me in behind." But, you know, it didn't happen. Herrera, as I said, was being very efficient and just doing what was best. Lukaku being a fit man, you know, very high energy coming off the bench. Obviously just wants to get in behind and do work, which is nothing wrong with that. And then Matic, I believe, who actually was the last sub, but Matic came on, made a couple interceptions, and was just solid. That's what we needed at the time. And he did what he had to do. So, yeah, actually, yeah. Okay, so Matic was the second substitution. Yeah, and he was solid. And as for Daley Blind, you know, I was so happy to see him, but I mean, he came on and there was a chance for him to have a shot on target. I wouldn't say necessarily go 3-0 up, but he had a shot. He was wide open, and he just absolutely scuffed it. But it was actually his standing foot kicked the ball, and that's what happened. Sad, but I tweeted out, you know, that's what happens when you don't play 3 months of football, you know. And hopefully he stays for the remainder of his contract, which I think runs out next season. But I love you, Daley, man. And if he can play central defensive midfield, I would have no problem with him staying around. I just don't want him to play. I don't even mind him playing left back. If he played left back over Ashley Young, honestly, I wouldn't complain. But yeah, that's what that was. That's my player rating. So Blind, I don't think I actually gave. I don't think I gave any of the subs a rating. Anyway, Lukaku, 7, Matic, 6, Blind, 6, 5. You know, but you know, he'll only get better. So that's all for this review. David De Gea now has 21 clean sheets, which is the most he's had since being at United. 17 in the league now, and 21 all competitions. So big up Dave, hashtag Dave saves and all that jazz. And now we got Spurs on weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. My biggest takeaway from this game is Paul Pogba being freed up by Ander Herrera. When Matic arrived, we said, oh, Matic is going to give Paul Pogba the freedom to do whatever he wants. And that's the case if we played in a 4-3-3. But we were playing in a 4-2-3-1, so Pogba doesn't get the ultimate freedom. And when he does try to be free, you just leave Matic in the midfield by himself. And that's where we suffered. So when you play a midfield 3, the best midfield 3, Herrera, Matic, Pogba, you get the best out of all 3 of them. But today it was Herrera instead of Matic. I mean, Fellaini instead of Matic in the first half. But whatever, I was happy with the result. I hope you guys are too. So if you did enjoy, drop a like and subscribe. Share it. Comment. Anything you got to say. Anything you want to get off your chest. Just do it. Alright? If you're new, I already said subscribe. But if you're new, subscribe. Okay? Thanks for watching. Deuces.